Good afternoon, everyone. And so my name is Nishank. I work as a principal solution engineer with BMC Software. Now before I get into what I'm here to talk about, a little bit about us. So BMC Software has been around for about 44 years, and we primarily play in the areas of AI ops, service management, and enterprise automation. And I'm here along with our partners ESS, who have been BMC's partner for solution implementation since 2005, present across 15 countries as well. So a little bit on, hey, why am I here? Like, I'm kind of the odd one out here from enterprise software company talking about automation. And what am I doing here amongst all you distinguished folks from the data world, right? So what I wanted to do was just take about 15 minutes of your time to set the context on where enterprise automation plays a role in the world of data, right? So the idea was to give you our perspective of the data ops challenges, not data science challenges, not data engineering challenges, but the data ops practice itself, right? What we bring to the table through enterprise automation and workflow observability, not infrastructure observability again, workflow observability, and what that means for you in the data world. And basically talk a little bit about the customer success stories we have, where we are able to help them realize the value and ROI from their data investments through enterprise automation, so to try and be a little relevant to you. All right, now with that, I wanted to take a moment to talk about the need for enterprise automation because with most of the customers we meet, most of the ladies and gentlemen in the data space I speak to, the usual response is, hey, you know what, we already have Snowflake, we already have Databricks, or we already do Airflow, so we don't need automation, right? However, it's not just automation or scheduling we are talking about today, we are talking about enterprise automation, and the distinction between those technologies and what I am talking about is when you look at it from an enterprise perspective, as you're all aware, data science is about getting data from different sources, could be on-prem, could be online, could be things like Twitter, right, to get market sentiment, et cetera, what have you, could be your applications, could be your CRM, ERP systems, what have you, right? And your entire data engineering ecosystem could be in the cloud, for example. And then the idea is you want to present them as actionable insights to the people running the business so they can generate some revenue out of these insights you provide to them. Now the challenge here is to be able to stitch a single pane of glass visibility of your pipeline which could potentially span across on-prem to the cloud, irrespective of what technology stack you use today, right? And so this is the core difference between enterprise automation and batch scheduling. Now while both of them are aligned to bring people to their outcomes, as in the previous slide, irrespective of what technologies you use. It's really about how fast can we get you there. Now the three personas who are typically concerned with these challenges, application teams or data teams, for example, their core responsibility is to identify new data sets. It's a mine of data out there, which is your most valuable asset, but it does have an expiry time, right? So their core idea is to drive innovation faster. Business owners want to get insights faster to make better decisions. And if you're an investment sponsor for data ops, you're looking at getting ROI faster. And that's where the challenge lies. And this is not just BMC Software saying it, nor me. A quick Google search or even Gartner's report on data ops says that the biggest challenge in realizing value from your data ops investments really is when it comes to operationalizing them. Innovation is one aspect of it, but really the end goal is to be able to run this innovation in production at scale, which drives revenue growth for your organization. That's the end goal. Now, what is stopping organizations from getting there, in our experience, is what we have seen is to run these data pipeline workflows at enterprise scale, at ensuring that these pipelines run on time, predictive insights that those analytics to ensure that the insights are delivered on time. Ensure that you're being compliant because end of the day you are running mission critical data, sometimes it is sensitive data. So to be compliant, to support audit, etc. Should something break, how quick can you resolve it? Now, this is an interesting challenge. With most of the customers I speak to, they say on an average, 30% of their data engineers' time is gone into resolving issues and troubleshooting and war room scenarios. Now, that's an expensive problem to have, because that is something which your NOC teams should be able to do. Getting a data engineer to troubleshoot is a very expensive approach to solving that problem. And at the same time, to be agile without having to depend on building custom connectors every time you want to adopt the latest and greatest in cloud technologies. How agile are you to adopt new technologies, right? What is your time to market of innovation? And at the same time, of course, adding governance and integrating into your CI/CD pipelines, etc. Solving these challenges is what gets these people, which are the application teams, business owners, and investment sponsors, to their objectives faster. And that's really the difference. While you can get to the goal either way, the question we typically ask is, how do you want to get there? How important is speed for you? How valuable is your data engineering team's time, right? And do you truly have end-to-end visibility? Are you truly making use of that operations center out there? Now, let me talk a little bit about what good looks like in our perspective, and as an example, I'll take some customer use cases as well down the line. Now, in our opinion, this is what good looks like. Irrespective of the teams in your organization, the idea is to have a single pane of glass platform where different teams can work on their pieces of business workflows and seamlessly integrate with each other with governance controls in place so that there is complete privacy and security. Team A cannot see nor control what Team B is doing, but they can talk to each other through the form of a workflow, adding a layer of SLA metrics to it, because hey, as an organization, as a business owner, as a data practice head, you're really not concerned with the nitty-gritties and the daily problems of what the team has. You're concerned with one thing. My data pipeline delivers a critical service for me. Is that going to run on time today? If not, why is it getting delayed? Who do I hold accountable to fix it, right? Those are the kind of insights we deliver because it's an end-to-end pipeline in a single pane of glass. We are able to predict based on historical insights. Is my pipeline going to run on time today? Are my business insights going to be delivered on time? And if not, what is the culprit, right? And at the same time, as I was mentioning, we want different teams to collaborate. So hey, if you have teams out there like data engineers who probably use Airflow, for example, who are comfortable with code, we integrate into Airflow also, by the way, seamlessly. And the beauty of it is each persona has their own way of interacting and looking at the same piece of information. Application teams can use UI, NOC teams can use the end-to-end UI. Developers and engineers can actually see the exact same thing through JSON code and interact with it via APIs. Now that gives your teams the flexibility to interact with the data pipelines in a medium of their choice while they're looking at the same picture end-to-end. And with full visibility for the NOC teams, they are now in a position, your L0, L1 NOC engineers, without needing the knowledge to understand Snowflake or Azure Data Factory or Databricks, right? Without needing to know the underlying technology, nor have access to it, nor have education on it, they can simply look at the pipeline, identify the point of error, look at the output, all from a single pane of glass, do the RCA, and head to the specific team saying, hey, this is the reason the pipeline is delaying. Completely eliminate war room scenarios. Now, what that in essence means is, the 30% of time you save of a data engineer from troubleshooting and war room scenarios is the amount of time he can put into innovating further. And innovating further means two things for business. One is, hey, you're going to get better insights faster. Two, from an investment perspective, your ROI, your data teams, your data investments ROI is also going to come out faster because they're actually doing meaningful tasks. And we do this very securely, right? Now we understand that for data pipelines, inputs or data sources can be many different things. It could be events, could be from IoT sensors, it could be things from social media, or it could also be files. Now, one of the other things we have seen recently is, especially when you're dealing with file data which contains maybe PII or transactional information, things which fall under the purview of data privacy and protection, it becomes very important to make sure we move data between these different tasks or systems in an encrypted and a secure manner. Now that is something we can do end-to-end. We have an integrated managed file transfer built into it, so we can move data securely and also use this movement of data as a trigger to a processing workflow, which means I don't need to cyclically watch for a file in periodic intervals. I can make it on demand. And I can do this not just internally, but I can even consume data from external sources and use that as an event to trigger a workflow, not just time and calendar, right? So that's how we get different teams to collaborate together to drive your common outcome. Now, if I had to show this in the context of an example, I just have a couple of examples here. I'm happy to discuss more at the booth area. Now, this one particular example talks about using a data engineered pipeline to optimize inventory and forecast demand. This is more for the retail space. And if you see, it's technology spanning across on-prem as well as different cloud technologies. Now, troubleshooting a failure here is a problem because that requires experts who understand the technology to get in there to figure out what the problem is, versus a single pane of glass view, which even an L0 or an L1 engineer without having cloud engineering expertise can troubleshoot, identify exactly what has failed and get the output itself right from here and go ahead and troubleshoot it. Imagine the power of that amount of visibility, right? And another example I wanted to take was trading. There are a lot more. In the interest of time, I'm covering just a couple today. And the reason I bring this up is irrespective of what cloud you use. You could be hybrid. You could have traditional applications running on-prem, and you could be using the latest and greatest in AWS or Azure or even GCP. We support cloud integrations. We support the hybrid workflow which goes from on-prem to the cloud. What that means is you might be using AWS Batch, you might be using Google Composer, you might be using Azure Databricks. But even those technologies, although they support workflow building, they also have an upstream and a downstream dependency. And that's where Control M acts as a master layer end-to-end, right? And I just wanted to take a few customer examples. Now, I've spoken about the concept, I've spoken about the value we bring by operationalizing these. But here's a few examples. Now, this, by the way, is BMC Software. We use our own product to run our critical operations. Now, we use Control M pretty much to run our data pipelines, which are responsible for generating about 3,000 business intelligence reports. And what I want to bring your attention to really is the different sources. We actually consume data from our Salesforce. We consume data from our HR portal. We even consume data from Oracle Eloqua, which is a marketing lead generation platform for online requests, etc. We ingest all that data into our data warehouse, our Informatica ETL, etc., to actually deliver insights to businesses to make decisions on time. And this entire workflow spans on Control M. The idea is I wanted to give you the diversity of what automation can do for you and the value it can really bring, because as we were talking about earlier, it's really about ensuring data engineers have the time to innovate, not troubleshoot, right? And now this is an interesting example I'm sure most of you can resonate with. So we can proudly say that Domino's is one of our customers, and I would like to say that we have a small part in ensuring that we all get our pizzas on time, right? Now, to explain this use case, Domino's actually uses data pipelines very heavily to predict demand at their different stores and regions, and also as a part of their supply chain to ensure the right ingredients are present at the right store based on the demand. Now, these are mission critical pipelines for them, right? These need to run on time consistently day in and day out, because the outcome of these in essence triggers a supply chain workflow which ensures product is available at the right stores. And that's what Control M is responsible for. Right? We ensure that they are able to run these day in and day out through predictive analytics, through workflow observability insights. We can ensure that the business outcome is delivered. And we have quite a few more examples, but again, in the interest of time, I'm covering 2 today. The other interesting customer I wanted to talk about is AG Insurance. Now, I know this is BFSI, but what I did want to bring your attention to is, one of the problems we spoke about enterprise automation was how agile are you with respect to your pipelines, right? How agile are you when it comes to adopting new technologies? Hey, you might be using technology A today, but you might go through a multi-cloud strategy tomorrow. You can't predict that. But the idea is to have a platform which enables you to do so with minimal effort, and that's what AG Insurance used this for. So they basically re-architected their systems, and if you see the core thing, re-platformed their applications and data, right? And now the most important thing was they had to also, obviously, repurpose their existing data pipelines and workflows to work with the new applications they migrated to. And it took them 1 weekend to cut over, right? And the idea behind that, and that's what enterprise automation brings, right? No code, not even a low code, a no code platform which can really stitch your pipelines end to end, as opposed to having to custom build integrations every time you adopt a new technology. Now that's my time. So I just wanted to give you a flavor of what enterprise automation can bring to your initiatives. I have more use cases to talk about in different spaces around even manufacturing, etc. We are there at the booth right outside. I'd be happy to answer any questions and get your feedback as well. And we'd love to hear from you. And that's my time. I'm just going to leave this on so you can see the different technologies we integrated to, and we add new ones every month. With that, thank you.